everybody. Welcome back on Inside the Headset Wednesday night edition. Going to jump around a little bit and talk to the head coach of the Ravenwood Raptors. He played Alcoa and took a loss, but he bounced back really quick. Came away with a win last Friday night against Cane Ridge, 35-7, which is a local team here. And he catches Blackman this Friday night. We bring to the airwaves the head coach of the Ravenwood Raptors, head coach Will Hester. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing great, Stork. How are you, man?
Doing well. Talk to us a little bit about that Cane Ridge game you got into on Friday night.
Yeah, super proud of our guys. Thought our defense kind of stepped up and showed a lot of strides from game 1 to game 2. Had several takeaways, scored a defensive touchdown. We also scored another special teams touchdown. That's one in each of the first 2 games. Had a block punt for a touchdown this time. So all in all, it was a well-played game. Outside of a couple of times we put the ball on the ground, it would have been a very clean game. But proud of the guys. Made a lot of strides from week 1 to week 2. Now we get to head over on the first road trip of the year to Rutherford County and play a team and at a school that you spent a lot of time at. So.
Yes, I have been. I have spent a lot of time at the Inferno, and it is a great place to play on Friday night. Before we get to talk about the Inferno and the Blackman Blaze, can you give a couple of accolades to maybe some guys that played really well on Friday night against Cane Ridge?
Yeah, Jaden Smitherman, junior defensive back. He had the pick 6, but he was also the young man that scooped up and scored the block punt. So had 2 non-offensive touchdowns, which is very big for us. And Carter Pace, young man coming back from injury for us, our senior tailback. We've got him kind of on a pinch count. Only had 16 carries on Friday, but had his first 100-yard game of the season, going over 100 yards with 16 carries for right around 110 yards. So good to kind of get him back in the fold. We started a sophomore quarterback, Kimmy Babalola. I thought Kimmy played well in his first high school start as a sophomore. And in our defensive unit, we turned the ball over one time in our own area, and they returned it to the 3-yard line. And our defense, starting with them first and goal to 3, held them out to 0 points, stopped them on a 4th down try. And anytime you can have kind of a goal line stand like that, it builds a lot of confidence in your unit.
Yeah, and how did you feel like you played on special teams, Coach?
Really well. Like I said, we scored a touchdown there with a block punt. So, and then, our return game was good. Had the ball in good field position every time that we were able to return the ball. And had a young man, Ansel Anderson, had like a 56-yard punt. So, anytime you can kind of flip the field there, it's a plus.
Anytime you head into week 3, how are you injury-wise?
Actually getting some guys back. So we were kind of banged up starting the season, starting to get guys back. So we're more healthy now than we were in week 1 and 2. So trending in the right direction.
Getting ready to play the Matt Kreisky, the other Kreisky, and you are familiar with him and what he likes to do and how he likes to run his program because he was over in your region. But this is a non-region game, and you are coming to Rutherford County. They're 0-2, looking for a win, and they're going to be a little bit hungry, aren't they, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. And, they don't look like an 0-2 football team when you flip the film on. Very big in the front of the defense, both on the D-line and linebackers, and got some talented guys in the secondary. And from an offensive standpoint, they're probably not as dynamic as they were last year with all the receivers and stuff that they had, but still well put together in a scary offensive group.
You like where this team is. It's his third. It's going to be his 3rd game being in a new program and everything. And when you flip it on, does it look like he's coaching his 3rd game with a new program?
Yeah, he's putting his stamp on it. Clearly they're doing things the right way, and they're run his style right. He likes to run the football, play good defense. That's what they're attempting to do. And I think if you look at the roster and the kids that they're playing right now, they're playing a bunch of young kids, and I know that their freshman group is super good. So the future's bright for the Blaze. Hopefully we can hold them down one more week, though.
Keep the flame down is what you're saying. Keep the burner low is what you're trying to do. Well, I'll tell you one
Yeah, we're
thing.
going to try to smother the flame for one more week.
Yeah, I tell you, you've been over here before, but it's always a great atmosphere. You know it'll be a big gate. Even though it's a Labor Day weekend heading into it, they got a good band. You're going to get a good atmosphere. It's just what you want on a Friday night. I mean, yeah, am I not mistaken?
Absolutely. I mean, and that's why we play these kind of games out of region, so that our kids each and every Friday can play a meaningful game, one that kind of gets the heart beating and the blood flowing, so that when you look back over the course of this career, this life, this football time as a football player, that you played in a bunch of games that had a lot of meaning and a lot of energy to them.
Did you have a good gate?
I don't even know, to be honest, Stork. I mean, obviously our side was pretty full. Cane Ridge didn't bring too many people, but I can tell you this: the Cane Ridge Band is a sight to behold. If you've got an opportunity to watch the Cane Ridge Band, heard a lot of great reports on the Cane Ridge Band.
Well, you know what? I went to school at EKU, as you very well are familiar, and we used to be mean to you guys when you're on the sideline. I was one of the. I always tell Coach McDaniel and John Jones, I was one of those guys that sat up in the stands behind you all on the visitor side. I was a part of that crew that give you guys the business on the sideline, but. We always enjoyed the Tennessee State Band and the OVC, and one of the toughest conferences to play in, as you very well know.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, those Tennessee Tech EKU battles, there were some big ones.
Yeah. I spent 6 wonderful years in Richmond, Kentucky. I had a great time, but it wasn't. I'll let you know this: when you're working at the Hyatt Regency in downtown Lexington, and you got all those UK ball games and the horse sales and all this. I wasn't. I was making great money and I was having a great time. So I really didn't want to graduate. I was avoiding PUB 490, and my father finally said, "Mr. Montgomery, if you want the funds to keep coming, you will take PUB 490 this spring." And it was only offered in the spring, and they only took 14 students, and I ran away from it for a year, and I got kind of caught doing that, and so I didn't want to grow up, Coach, and maybe that's just me, but anyway, we wish you the best of luck, safe travels over here to Rutherford County, and go Raptors.
Thanks, Tor. Appreciate it, buddy.
All righty, bye-bye.